we need to talk about censorship. What is the importance of censorship, and do we really need it? I mean, I'm gonna go first because my thoughts are a little bit crazy, but like,
when aren't they?
You know, I'm not a big fan of censorship. I think that we need to let the world know their options so the world can make choice. And the more we suspend those options and get rid of those options because we're trying to censor those options, people don't have the ability to make authentic choice.
Okay. Now, I see where you're going with that, you know, and I agree. I think it's beautiful and idealistic because I think that censorship is necessary as a form of protection when you're talking about children. Specifically children.
Children.
Because I think that there are a lot of things out there that exist that are hard to believe and to see. And I think that when a child is exposed to something that they're not ready for, and they don't know, they are vulnerable, which we will talk about later, they are susceptible, they're prone to these feelings that they don't know how to handle, they don't know what to do with them yet. And that dissonance and that, you know,
yeah, it's like miscommunication inside yourself.
Not knowing what to do with that can cause trauma.
Yeah, I know, Anna, you are very like...
I'm very against you. For the first time, and we generally tend to agree on things. With Vivi, I think when it comes, you know, my hard line is always children. When it comes to certain kids, I think that we have to protect our children. I think it's our responsibility as a society to make sure that children are children and they're not forced to grow up too fast. This is something that I read recently that I'm going to tie into censorship. Junos Diaz is a Dominican author, playwright, the whole nine, and he recently wrote an essay detailing that he was raped at 8 years old. And I read the essay, and it really affected me. My thing is, like, do you think an 8-year-old should be exposed to sexual situations? And, you know, obviously his was very traumatic, and it changed everything in his life for 40 years. Now, I think kind of tying it into censorship, those are the type of things that we should protect our children from. Like, violence and sex and all these things that they're just not mentally ready to process.
And I think it's it's difficult to protect him from that. Maybe it was a situation that censorship isn't going to help. You know what I mean? But where there is a way to censor certain things that will help that, then I think that it should be censored.
And had he been exposed to something like that, would it have changed the traumatic experience that he had? I don't think so. I think it would have made it worse.
And that's the hard part right there, is like, how do we really have an opinion on how something is going to affect someone other than how it has affected us? And what I know that I have a disagreement here, but I think it comes from the fact that adults already don't understand things. Adults have moments where we see things on TV or we hear something and we're like, we don't get that. That makes me feel weird. I feel uncomfortable. I don't know what to do with these feelings. And I think that if, as a child, I mean, I was exposed to quite a lot when I was a kid, and there were, you know, abuse, and I saw way too much sex. And, you know, do I think that I needed that? Do I think that somehow it made me a little bit different from everybody else at the time? Yes. But do I think that I was unable to handle and that it screwed me up? No. I think what happens is if you have an adult in your life that can't answer the questions, Mommy, what's that? What is that guy doing to that woman? If Mommy can't answer it, then yeah, of course we're gonna have this dissonance, this, what is that supposed to be? But if Mommy can come and say, there are things in this world that we don't like, child. These things are called these things, pedophile. Sex it exists. And if we can teach our children early enough what these things are and help them understand
but do you really have to?
Yeah,
why does it have to be, why rush him? Because I think, as you said, adults go through things that we don't understand. Everybody goes through things that we don't understand, and it's hard to take in. But I would, if I had a child, I would want to protect that childhood, because I think childhood is very important in someone's life. And I think that if you just throw everything at them and explain everything that adults are dealing with and how the world is a bad place, why? Let them protect that precious
Why are you going to take that from them?
I mean, I hear you. I hear you.
Or else he won't have that.